Yeah, man. January the 17th, 2022. This is Kevin Christian, and I want to talk about something that, okay, you may have experienced this in the beginning, or you may be about to experience these things. And it's something that I went through with remote neural monitoring and gang stalking. And I thought, um, you know, I'll share my results and let you know how it was for me. So, what I'm talking about is calling the police. Um, Calling the police about neural monitoring and things that are happening with artificial telepathy. Um, in the beginning, okay, all the way back in 2015, which is not the beginning, but it's the beginning of the serious targeting. There was a few isolated incidents and a lot of hacking that was going on in 2013 and 14 and 15, and it's continued. But 2015 was when not the isolated couple of incidents, but the full time telepathy out loud where they're talking to you and all kinds of crazy stuff going on with broadcast. And it was Operation Destroy Kevin, and that's when it became full time. Was late 2015, and around that time, going into 2015 and into 2016, I can't tell you how many times I called the police. Um, I can tell you that they won't do anything about the things that you're talking about because they're just going to tell you that you're crazy or that you might need some help psychologically. And your family's probably going to go along with them because it doesn't make sense to any of them because they can't hear what you're hearing and they don't see it how you're seeing it or any of that. So you find yourself under attack by everybody. You feel like you're in danger, or these people they're doing something to harm you, or it's like this crazy stuff starts happening. That's for you. You don't even understand how to explain it all or how to talk about it, much less uh, make police reports or convince your family. So I had times where I was calling the police because the gang stalkers talking to me were leading me to believe that things were happening, and so I would call the police. To in the attempts to try to protect other people that supposedly things were happening too, and they can use all kinds of telepathy games and stuff to manipulate what you're thinking about, and they know what you're thinking, and so they can tell how effective they're being, and a bunch of gang stalkers just jump in with psychological neurological assault on you. And that's how it was in the beginning for me. I mean, there was some physical things happening where they were attacking me with broadcasts, and but that's become like the full time thing. But it wasn't like the main category back then. And back then it was psychological warfare to try to influence what I'm believing and just falling into the whole scenario of having people talk to you and starting to understand that they know everything that you think and what you see and how bizarre all of that is and how you try to explain it to yourself and you're searching everywhere for the speakers embedded into your light fixtures or your appliances or something like that, and you're trying to record stuff and it ain't working. It's not a sound wave; it's signals, and it's not working. But gang stalkers love that game too, and they'll lead you to believe that it's working because is it them now, or is it them really in the recording, or is it them now pretending like they're in the recording? And it's very difficult to distinguish that when you're trying to listen real close to recordings, the headphones or otherwise. Um, and so, you find yourself playing that stuff back to your family and the police, and you're trying to tell them what's going on. And, you see people here and there, like the army men in the trees, like with machine guns. Yeah, the broadcast stuff and this kind of stuff they want you to tell the police. And I've had the police tell me, if you call us again, we're going to take you to jail. And so then you don't call them again. But then you're on your own. And I've had situations where the police keep coming, and then next thing you know, my family's at the judge's quarters or chamber or whatever, and getting them to sign some thing saying that they got to send me to an evaluation, and all of that happened back in the day too. And so then they come like police come, sheriffs come, like six of them, and they're like, you're coming with us, and they take you to a place where you got to get evaluated, and it's a mandatory thing. You can't leave, and it's not like jail, but you can't leave. And the police take you there, and you can't leave. And then they get their evaluation on. So but it's their job and their career, psychiatrists and psychologists and anybody who works at those kind of psychiatric places. It is their business for people to have psychological issues. So of course they're not going to say, okay, well, obviously you're dealing with artificial telepathy and EMF broadcast stuff, and it's all part of this neural monitoring satellite broadcast system. They're not going to tell you that. That's the end of their career. It's how many people come there. A lot of people come there to those places with the same type of situation. A lot of us have been. And this is what can happen when the beginning, when you don't know how to react, and you don't have a good grasp on how it's affecting you, and you're trying to explain it to your family members who don't have a clue about any of it because it's not happening to them in the same ways, if at all. And the police, same. And it's not that they're in on it. This is just the protocol for the way that they deal with that type of thing, because it's not supposed to be possible for those type of things to happen. But there's definitely some psychiatric conditions that that they can use to describe the same type of conditions or symptoms or whatever you want to call it. It's not something that you can block or turn off. You can't take a medication to make artificial telepathy shut up, because you're talking about a person talking, with over broadcast. And so when you hear them, it's that they have access to your neural monitoring, to the control panel, to all the broadcast settings and everything on your neurological broadcast frequency, and they can use it how they wish. And there's no oversight to this. People everywhere use it how they want to. And so you don't have control over it. You could take medications all day, but it might make you not care so much or not aware so much. But when they talk to you, they talk to you out loud, and you hear them, and I hear them all day, every day. They're talking to me all the time. And it's mostly the same few people, but sometimes it's other people, and sometimes they use different voice modulation settings, and sometimes they use each other's voice modulation settings. It's like they play little games and try to make you believe that they're somebody or somebody's them or this and that. And it's really like a game they're playing with each other, and using you as like the slave mind to just broadcast all this stuff to, and you're the computer, So they love the way that my mind works, but calling the police is not, And so, moving on with the subject of the video, calling the police on neural monitoring. So it comes down to a thing where you can't call them, and you've been through all the things, and you're starting to settle down with the situation a little bit, and realize that this is you're in it for the long run. You're in it for the long haul, and now, because you've explored all of the forums and the groups, and you've talked to people and watched the videos on YouTube and everything, and you've found 1,000 people that got this going on at least, but we all have the same level of help from the authorities, which is pretty much none. And so you come to that realization, and you start to try to figure out new ways to approach this. So in the beginning, I was going down to the police station, and I was filing reports, and this was different than calling them out to my house. They might say, you sure you don't need some help or something at first, but they started to just accept my police reports. And I think really what happens is at this point, you've called them out to your house a bunch of times. They've got you noted as saying all this crazy stuff, and then you've been down at the department and you're filing things. And so they're disregarding you. You're on a list. You're flagged as do not take seriously, deranged psychopath probably in their system. So it comes to that, and so I've been filing all these police reports, but then, okay, I finally got him to let me in with a detective, and he tells me that, there's nothing on the law books about remote neural monitoring or artificial telepathy, so there's nothing I can really do to help you. But, I guess it's not up for interpretation, but what I ended up doing was trying to regroup, and I said, okay, I know that hacking is illegal now, and I can find laws that state specific type of things, and I can try to work towards proving that those things are happening towards me, and then it's kind of becomes the police's responsibility. Once you prove that a crime is being committed against you, it's kind of their responsibility to investigate the crime. And so I started filing those type of things. They haven't filled their responsibility or called me back and contacted me, and I've filed over 20 police reports about hacking alone. And so maybe they got me on the sketch list still. I don't know. So I know they won't hit me back about it, but they always accept my report, and I got most of it's under the same case number. And so, but what happens is you still realize like there's not a lot of recourse, and you could probably get a lawyer and maybe even sue the department, or maybe even file a lawsuit about they have to pay you for how much it costs to conduct an investigation since they don't want to do their job and they're supposed to. So now you got to do it to hire investigators and forensic computer analysis people or whatever. So maybe that's the right pathway. I'm not sure yet, but at this point I've been trying to take the right steps and file police reports, and then I document publicly every day on my YouTube channel, and I keep everything that I can as far as digital information, data, or whatever that I can find or keep. Their stuff that they got on my stuff. They're hacked into all of my things still, and I have been trying to take the legal route, but it may take a lot of money and lawyers. It probably will. So that's what I'm working towards, and at the same time, I've decided to learn more and more about the computer side of things, the programming and the networks and the security, all the protocol, everything. I want to learn it all. It's going to take some time, and I'll be doing other videos about that type of stuff, and you can follow my career on that, I guess you could say, because I just started college, actual college for computer programming, and I'm also looking at the web development and mobile application stuff and cybersecurity. Those are all areas that I'd like to cover, over the next 6 to 8 years. But I don't think it's going to take me that long to come up with enough to really put, to really make a difference with what's going on with us, with all this gang stalking stuff, because they are so heavily involved with your computer systems and your networks and being on your accounts and everything and running stuff in the background and doing so much stuff. So, I think eventually I'll get to the bottom of it, and there's already so much that I can prove, and my life is far beyond coincidence with all of the people that have been involved and the personal circumstances and everything. So it's, I really got a strong story and a strong case and a lot of evidence, detailed evidence and daily video logging and documentation and all the old files and a lot of the old devices and everything. And just the story in general and the history of it all, with the people surrounding my situation and my story, and enough strong evidence that eventually I'll be able to do something about it. It's going to be how serious I am about that, and I'm getting more and more serious all the time. There's a lot to get organized. Calling the police hasn't helped me, and I don't know what else to do as far as like calling the police, other than, if you can get something solid enough where you've learned enough about hacking, basically, to figure out how to link them back to a lot of the things that are going on, and then you also could put together a strong story, then you may be able to go to a judge and actually just say, I would like to file a warrant for these criminal actions taken against me, against these people, and do that. And you maybe need a lawyer to do that too, but that's where we're headed. I mean, ultimately, we're headed in that direction, but I know I am. I would suggest follow a similar pathway, or come up with one as good or better and follow that, or combine pieces of all of our strategies. But we have to have a strategy. The police aren't helping us, and that's the first level. You call the local police. We've contacted federal agencies and statewide agencies of government like FBI and all of that stuff, and none of us have really had much luck with any of that. But I'm sure there's still other recourse with lawsuits, civil litigation that could lead to other things. But right now, it's not been very helpful to call the police. But at least I have the documentation that I've dealt with the police on many, many occasions over the years, and I've also, kept track of most everything, and documenting things is very important, I feel like. And I know I got a crazy YouTube channel where it makes me look insane sometimes, but that's how it was that day with me and them and these gang stalkers. Even right now, I always feel broadcasts and stuff on my face, and they do that intentionally. So that's what's going on. But if you just now started having these type of things, carefully consider everything you got going on. Where you don't want to end up with some false diagnosis like you're crazy, and have them medicating you, and you don't want to end up in trouble with the police. You really want to calm down, because a lot of us, we have been dealing with this for 5 to 10 years or more even, and uh, it doesn't, I won't say it gets better, but it gets a little easier the more you learn about it. And it also depends, I said this in the comment to somebody, it also depends on how you handle it. If you start to move in the right direction, or if it starts to make you collapse as a person. And it could be real bad, but you got to use that for inspiration and try to move forward, because they're still in our life away. They're still in our time and our life and our enjoyment of life, our quality of life, and our everything, our intellectual content and our wealth in general. They're stealing all of that away from us. And it's like the big secret that everybody knows. And I'm not going to sit down and just watch it happen and let them, they can't have mine. They're taking it now, but I'm not having that. So that's how I'm using it. And I'm trying to do as much as I can. And I hope all you guys will try to do as much as you can too. Go to work as much as you can. I know it's hard. They make me want to walk out of my job every day. Gangstalkers on telepathy. I love my people at work pretty much. But it gets hard dealing with them. So I know how that is, but try to do it anyway. Do everything you can. Make every bit of money you can, and keep your life organized. Stay healthy, and try to become more educated on the things, and put yourself in a position to handle these type of problems that we have, because that's what you have to do. You don't have a choice. But thank you for watching. Y'all have a good day.